Welcome back to Inside Criminal Minds, the series dedicated to dissecting the actions of the Behavioral Analysis Unit to catch serial killers. If you're new to the channel, there is a link in the description to catch you up. This episode begins with a mother and daughter fighting, and the mother forcing the kid to run around the field, and while she's running, she calls her dad. But then the unsub strikes by using a lost dog ruse, and she gets kidnapped. And the local police think that the dad is trying to get retribution over the recent divorce, but are sorely mistaken. Then we see Garcia thanking Gideon for flowers he never sent, but it gives us the first glance of Gideon's family, composed of victims he and the team have saved, which is a precursor to his notebook filled with the same kind of pictures. JJ then informs the team of the abduction 20 hours late. Reed then states statistics to the team that should already be known, but anyway, by the time they land, already 21 hours late to the party, and JJ is trying to coach the media on what to run. The team figures out the vehicle is a green SUV, and also discover a potential victim, the unsub approached. We then see Gideon in the child's room with the voices of children playing in his head, reminding us of his determination and his scarred psyche from his past, seeing the evil acts of unsubs, further his development and his humanity. Elle is consoling the family and trying to understand the aspects of the kidnapping. Gideon, using his crime profiling skills, knows Billy, the victim, had a dog that recently passed away, and we find out the reason for the divorce was the husband's health was failing. The mother is also frustrated. The last time she saw her daughter, they had a fight, which makes sense because no one deserves to go through this hardship. Next, we see JJ and Reed innocently flirting when JJ breaks away to talk to the press and insults his tie, which may bite her back in the future. Tensions back in the house are intensely high, and the parents fight due to the situation they are in. And Gideon, in a pseudo-callous way, is asking the father difficult questions to absolve the notion that the dad did anything, and as the questioning continues, they deduce the father isn't involved, but his cancer is back, and it's possible he's not long for this world. Next, Morgan and Hodge go to a potential victim to gather insight on the unsub, and they theorize that the unsub is probably local. And Gideon suggests to play a different game in order to find the unsub. During the giving of the profile, the team instructs a complete opposite of the procedures the BAU themselves had set up. Unfortunately, the unsub isn't going to try to find out what the police know. That's when Morgan calls Garcia to cross-reference people on the sex offender registry to find potential suspects, but end up clearing up a single suspect for having no affiliation with child crimes. Next, as Elle is reassuring the family the plan is the best chance to see Billy alive, a neighbor shows up and gives the father information on the sex offender already cleared by Morgan and Garcia. And in true fatherly instincts, he goes to confront him and tries to beat him with a pipe wrench. Luckily, Morgan and Hodge pull the dad off him, and the guy doesn't press charges, and Hodge all but threatens the dad to corral himself so the team can do their job. Also, we learn of a dead body being fished out of the river where Gideon and Reed are at the scene. However, the identification of the body isn't directly told to us, and during a press conference with the parents, a reporter asks about said body, which is extremely insensitive and only riles up the father, and it was due to JJ's earlier dig at the reporter. Luckily, Gideon gains control of the situation. Next, we see Reed insinuate a pseudo-survivorship bias by telling the team to look at those who didn't answer when the police knocked, helping them narrow the suspect list a little bit further. Then, because Gideon is probably the best leader of the BAU, gives the father the best pep talk ever, and the father is more determined and hopeful than he's ever been. And Gideon compliments his team, showing why the team follows him so dearly. While the calls come in, the team gets a break on the case when a neighbor calls in and they have the first viable suspect, and everyone shows up to the house, and Gideon has one of his best scenes.
Break down the door.
No, we don't have probable cause.
He's got a green SUV. He had a dog that died recently. He spends time in the park.
He's pretending he's not home.
None of which are illegal. No judge is going to sign a warrant based on that
You're
information.
weighing the life of a child against the price of a door?
I'm weighing the law against the price of a door.
Girl's in the house right now. The longer we stand here and wait, the longer he has to finish her off.
I mean, doors are pretty expensive now, but Gideon weighs the price of morality over legality and breaks in hoping his team is correct. And this gets Gideon on a whole nother level when it comes to his character. He cares so much for the victims, he is willing to lose the case just to find the girl. After searching the house, they find child porn like in his profile, but they're running out of time to find Billy, and even Reed talks about the possibility of not finding her in the house, citing other abductions, but Gideon follows the profile and knows she is here. Hotch does try to intimidate the unsub to no avail. However, Gideon figures out where she is by noticing the insulation and figures she is in the attic. And I've never had to search a house, but wouldn't that be a place to check? And of course, Gideon is right, as usual, and saves Billy and brings her to her parents, and the day is saved. On the plane home, Gideon gets to the bottom of who sent the flowers, being Hotch, and Gideon already got her a gift, joking about how she may find he's sweet on her, but we all know the only one that's sweet on her is Morgan. Elle and Gideon discuss Billy's parents, and Gideon infers that they will stay together, and it would be better if they did stay together. Ending the episode with Billy joining Gideon's family. This episode challenged the team in multiple ways, from being called in extremely late to the father's emotions getting a hold of him. But the team was still successful in saving the victim, giving us an exceptional Gideon-focused episode. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to watch my other series linked here and in the description. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.